Live. Hey guys, it's Sunday, and I just wanted to just to share a message with you guys. Just keep you guys encouraged, keep you guys motivated or whatnot. Yeah. So I was listening to one of my favorite, probably my favorite um, motivational speaker. Um, he is since deceased. His name is Miles Monroe. And man, I've been learning a lot from this guy, man. Like he's been really inspiring me, and a lot of the things that he said made sense as far as for those of you guys who believe in God. I'm a Christian. I believe in God 100%. And but for those of you who are believers, and even if you're not a believer, I think is a message that's worth sharing. And what he basically alluded to the fact that God cannot do anything on this earth without man, which is very, very. I never looked at it that way before. And if you go into your Bible and if you look and you look at it and you really examine it, and because I read the Bible a lot, and he actually makes some really, really valid points. And I'm talking about generally speaking, as far as in the affairs of men. I'm not talking about as far as making the earth spin, letting the water come from the sea and into the cloud and making it rain. That's we're not talking about that. I'm talking about in the affairs of men. Um, at least that's what I got from it, as far as what he was saying. So basically, what he was saying is um, he was saying he was saying that we have the authority, but God has the power, which makes a lot of sense. So basically, he gets a little deep, and he was saying that in order for God to get things done, he actually needs a human body because God is spirit and all that good stuff, and which makes sense again. You know, because I went back and I researched the Bible big time, and I saw that he makes some really really valid points. But the point I'm trying to make is again that is quite liberating, because for those of you who are Christian and those of you who are not, the bottom line is this: nothing's going to change unless you do it, right? Even Miles Monroe even gets to the point of saying that God is illegal on this earth without a human body. That's why Jesus came down and he had to be birthed by Mary, and he needed a dirt body to establish his role, and that's why Jesus is referred to as Son of Man, right? Son of Man. Jesus Christ is the Christ, but he says Son of Man a lot. Like he's been given all the authority as the Son of Man. Why? Because he's a son of a human, right? So, it kind of made sense. It kind of tied pretty good as far as all the things I've been learning from Dr. Miles Monroe. May his soul rest in peace. But bottom line is one thing I like about Miles is that he really lays down the responsibility on each person, each individual, whether you're a man, whether or not you're a woman. He really he puts the onus on you, on you. You are the one that's going to change your life. You are the one that's going to change your family's life. You are the one that's going to change society's life. You are the one. You are the one. You, with the help of God. You see what I'm saying? Like he was saying that a lot of people pray. A lot of people pray for God's help or whatnot, but ultimately, even if God is going to do something, He's going to do it through you. You are the one He's going to do it through. So uh, which is kind of liberating, and is also kind of scary as well, because that means that as men and as women, son of man just means son of human, right? um, um, that just means that whatever your financial situation is, whatever your education level is, whatever your insight is, whatever situation you're going through, who's the person ultimately that's going to have to take responsibility of their life. It's you. It's you. It's you. It's you. You know, um, like let's look at your health, for instance. Say for instance you're overweight, right? Are you going to pray to God to help you lose weight? Doesn't work that way. Say for instance you're in a financial mess, right? Are you going to pray to God to send money from heaven and put it in your pocket? Doesn't work that way, right? Say for instance you lack wisdom. Are you going to pray to God to put stuff into your brain? Doesn't quite work that way, right? The onus is on you. Now, God has the power to change you, but ultimately the responsibility is always on you. It always is you, right? Are you willing to make the sacrifices, right? If you are, like in the Bible, because I read the Bible a lot, it's written, it says, can two walk together if they do not agree, right? Can two walk? And walk means, can you work together? Can we accomplish things together if we do not agree? And everybody always looks at the atrocities in the world, like like why people are in debt, why people a financial mess, why people have school loans, why is the economy in shambles, why people are so overweight, why people having health issues, and so on and so forth. That is not a God problem. That was a you problem. That's a you problem. And that's going to continue to be a you problem unless you change things. You see what I'm saying? You must choose to change. I mean, you can whine and whine and whine and complain and complain and complain that, America is this, America is that, blah, 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 blah. But one thing I will tell you is this: America is not a perfect country, not by any stretch, but I've traveled to many countries all around the world. And I will tell you this: there is no other country that affords you more opportunities than America, bar none. Bar none. I've been to Asia. I've been to the continent. I've been to Asia. I've been to Africa. I've been to Europe. I've been to America. Nowhere. This is the best it's going to get. Well, this is the best as we got. Could it be better? Sure. But this is all you got right now. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, knowing that, one problem that I have with American descendants of slaves, or any minority group, or any group whatsoever, is the constant complaining. Right now, listen. Do A do it? Does ADOS today deserve reparations and all that good stuff? Yes, sure, absolutely. That's you know. But what I am also telling you guys is there are so many opportunities out there that that you do have, that if you would just stretch out yourself a little bit more, that could change your situation. There's so many opportunities, no matter where you're struggling, whether it's financial, mental, whether it's emotional, whether it's marital, whatever it is, right? There are so many different things, that there's so many opportunities out there that you have no idea, because you're not looking in the right places, guys. You're looking in the wrong places. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, stop looking at what you don't have. Stop and start looking at the things that you do have. There's so many things that you could do right now to change your situation. Whether it's health wise, like if you're out of if you're out of shape, right? Now just think about it. Are you going to sit there and pray to God and say, God, um, please take the weight off of me? It doesn't work that way. Why? Because God gave you time. That's the whole point. Like when you were born and when you're gonna die is pretty much determined, right? You know, um, So let's say the average person lives to in America. I think it was some studies where the average African, is dies at the age of 55 or something like that. But the average American did die around 76, something like that. So let's say the average American has 76 years to live. So if every time you had a problem, God solved it just like that, what's the point of time? Why did God give you time to sort your stuff out, right? What's the point, right? So, but the cool thing about time is everybody has time to do stuff, but we don't have an infinite amount of time to get stuff done. That's the trick, right? We all have time to get stuff done. So he's patient with us to a point, right? But he doesn't give us an infinite amount of time to actually get stuff done, right? And that's why in the Bible it says, God teaches us to, to number our days, right? Number our days, right? So what does all this mean? It simply means this. Number one, we all have the responsibility of doing what? Taking care of ourselves and taking care of our families. We all have that responsibility. It's not on God per se. It's up to you. It's going to be up to you, right? God has never, walked me down to the grocery store and taken me shopping and brought groceries into my house. That's not how it works. Mm-mm. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not how it works. You gotta accept responsibility. So that's number one. Number two, right? You've got to accept responsibility for your life. Like for real. Like I think we're to the point now where I think everybody has to come to the point and the conclusion that, listen, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what presidential candidate is in office. If you guys have the wrong mentality, right? Right? If you guys have the wrong thanks, Ernest. Like, if you guys have the wrong mentality as far as thinking that some presidential candidate is actually going to save your life or change your life, you're looking at this thing wrong. You're looking at this thing totally wrong. In a great myopic time, like we would want a president that's just perfect, that does everything for everybody. But I'm sorry, guys, that's just not that way. Look at Barack Obama. Did he help black people? Did he change black people's lives in any significant way? Everything looks the same to me, right? Looks the same to me, right? Trump, since he's been in office, has that stopped you from going to the supermarket or walking down the street or going to the grocery store or your job? It's the same to me. So what's the difference? You've got to accept responsibility. You've got to accept responsibility. It's just as simple as that, right? So you know, so in accepting responsibility, then it takes me down to another point, which is okay. Now that you've accepted the responsibility that, look, everything that has ever happened to me and everything that I am today is because of all the decisions that I have made. That's a mature responsibility. So I'm sorry. That's a mature response, and that's a mature mentality. Everything that has happened to me has happened because I chose to do it, or I chose to follow this path. It's as simple as that. Let's keep it simple, y'all. You know what I mean? Like, if you have two kids out of wedlock, if you have three kids out of wedlock, whatever it is, those are decisions that you made. All things equal. If you have $100,000 in student debt, if you have $50,000 in student debt, that was your responsibility. That was your fault. If you have a house right now that's about to go into foreclosure, that was what? Your responsibility. Own it. You got to own it. Because we cannot move forward until we start owning some things. We gotta own stuff. Because that's the thing that's the problem that I'm having with a lot of people. I'm seeing the stuff on social media. Listen, own it. You know what I mean? Like, own it. You gotta own it. If you're middle class, that's your responsibility. That's your fault. You gotta own it, man. There is nothing stopping anybody individually from making $75,000 a year. And you gotta own that. Yeah. How's it feel? Own it. If your children living in or if your children are living in poverty, you gotta own it. That was your decision. You gotta own it, man. And ladies. Gotta own it. If you have a job right now that's paying you $40,000, own it. Own it. And why do I keep saying you have to own it? Because listen, guys, unless you are ready to take responsibility of your life, you cannot move forward into the future. That's the point. That's the point of owning it. And it's quite liberating. What do I say that? I say it this way. Listen, everything that's happened to you from the past to now, all things being equal, right? I'm not talking about things that happened to you while you were young, like unfortunately, if you suffer from abuse or of any court, no, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the time where you started reasoning as an adult, right? To now, to where you are now, right? You can own that. And if you can accept the fact that, yes, everything I did in the past has led me to where I am right now, that's going to give you such a healthy start towards your future. Because now, okay, I messed up over the past 30, 40 years. It's cool. I own that. I own it. Okay, cool. So what that also means is over the next 10, 20 years, oh, it's on. Because I know if I can make bad decisions, then I can make really good decisions. As simple as that. Just own it, man. And leave no fucking prisoners. When you guys making a lot of money, leave no prisoners. Make no excuses. No excuses. And leave no prisoners. When you're having fun out there because you've made good decisions, be proud of yourself. But now the question now is, what are you going to do about it now? If you're out of shape, all the decisions you've made in the past, all the stuff you've been eating, blah, 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 has led you to this point. Now what are you going to do now about it? Over the next 3, 5 years. What's up? What you going to do about it now? Are you going to keep making these bad decisions, making the situation worse? Or are you actually going to start making some changes and say, okay, you know what? I've been messing up. All right, cool. Let's reset. Let's get things the right way. Because I tell you guys this all the time, right? Until you can own it, until you can own your current predicament, your current paradigm, right? Guess what? Your decision is actually going to affect your children. Your decision is actually going to affect your wife. Your decision is actually going to affect your grandchildren. Your decision is going to affect your children's self-esteem. Your decision is going to affect the way your wife looks at you at home. Your decision is going to affect your self-esteem in your own self. Your decisions are going to accept the way you're treated at work. Your decisions are going to affect whether or not your children go to a better school, which means then it cascades to everything else. Okay, now they're in a better school. Now they can meet other children who are creative, and then in the future, guess what? We can create something together and make some money. Your decision not to take responsibility for your health is gonna send you to an early grave, which means what? The potential income that you could have had for your family is no longer there. That was your decision. Your decision. Your decision. You got to own that shit, man. Everybody's got to own it. You know what I mean? So once you're ready to own that and you're ready to make better decisions, because right now, and it's going back to what I've been preaching for the past 4 years or whatever, is that, like I told you guys before, college was a bad decision. I'm sorry, y'all. College is a bad decision. Um, I was looking at Dr. Umar Johnson's on video the other day, and there are only a few professions where you're actually going to get your money back, and that's anything related to medical. You should be fine, and anything in STEM, maybe law, maybe, but I don't even think that. But anything in science, technology, engineering, and math, you're good to go. So, college, for the most part, for 90% of individuals right now, is just a waste of time and money. It's as simple as that. So, knowing that, we know that college has been a waste, mistake. Own that. Now you're in debt for $50,000. It ain't going nowhere. You can't write it off. You can't, you can't bankruptcy it. Two things you can't write off in bankruptcies: taxes and college. Amazing. You can write off a house, like a car, but that college, is going to stay with you till you're dead. Did you know that? Did you know that you could actually? Did you know that they could actually take your Social Security? They actually come after Social Security if you don't pay your college tuition. They actually coming for that, right? So, listen, listen. Like I told you guys before, when I first started this, right? God is not actually. God has the power. We have the authority to actually do things on earth. When God created the earth, He said, "Let them have dominion over the earth." He didn't say, "Let us," right? He said, "Let them," which is mankind, right? Humans, right? Humus, you know, mankind, right? We're just a spirit with a dirt body, right? Let us, and it makes sense, right? Every whole food that was ever created, because I'm in front of a whole food right now, was created by a man. God has never created a chair. God never created a car. God never created a school. God never created weave. God never created lipstick. God never created Android phone, right? God never created any of that. God never created an Apple phone. God never created a computer. What God does do is He inspires you. He gives you the power to. He gives you the wisdom to. He gives you the intellect to, right? He has the power to do all these things. Like, this is everything that you see now was probably every good thing. Every good thing that you see now is probably the way God was thinking. But think about it. Why didn't God just create a Whole Foods? Why didn't God just create a car? Why didn't God? Because He knew back then, like, people were on horses. Why didn't God just create like a washing machine? Why didn't God just create dishwasher? Why didn't God create an AC? Why? Because no, it is up to you to do it. He gave us dominion over the earth. So, what does that mean? It simply means this: every man must take responsibility not only for himself, but for his family. You've got to take responsibility for your family. No more excuses. And one area that you can certainly take responsibility, as far as for your future moving forward. Once you've decided to own your past, now, come on now, everybody, own your past. Once you've decided to own your past, now you can decidedly own your future. One way you can do that is through your education. And the Bible says, everybody must get knowledge, and in all you get understanding, right? So those two things gonna go ahead go hand in hand, right? Because one thing I've discovered is, guys, listen, going from whatever you're making right now to $250,000 a year is literally a couple of months away from now. Literally. Literally. I'm speaking from experience. You can make $250,000, $300,000 literally 3 to 6 months. As simple as that. How? Okay, good. You might be asking a question. How? Some of y'all rolling your head like, "Oh, here he go," like blah blah blah. He lying, blah blah blah. First of all, why you guys acting like 250,000, $300,000 is a lot of money? What are we talking about? See, that's the mentality you guys are having. Like, this is a lot of money. I don't know. It is. It's fine, right? But the point I'm trying to make is, from zero to 250,000, zero to $300,000 is simply what? Just knowledge acquisition. I always give you guys the three things. First of all, you must acquire the information. Information is nothing more than knowledge. So you acquire the knowledge. Go to a place that teaches you knowledge, right? Or gives you knowledge. So you got to acquire it, meaning Go to the classes. Go take the classes. Whatever field you're talking about, all right? Whatever thing you want to do, first of all, go acquire the knowledge. That's number one. Go get it. Go get it. Let it be a school that you know that, okay, can actually give you the right knowledge. It's number one. So go get it. Number two, once you've got it, it doesn't end there. It's 3 steps now. There's 3 steps. Everybody keeps missing this. It's 3 steps. The second thing is what? You must do what? Comprehend what you have learned. What does that mean? So you go to college or you go to wherever you're going to go. You go to whatever you want to do. You want to learn about spirituality. You want to learn about whatever it is you're trying to learn. What you want to learn how to bake a cake, whatever. You go take a class, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Number 2, then you have to comprehend. That means you sit down and then you digest the information. You digest the information so you can get understanding. Remember, the Bible goes back and says what? Number 1, acquire knowledge. And in all you're getting, get wisdom, which means get comprehension, right? So now you comprehend. You sit down at home, you comprehend, you go over the material that you've acquired. So you acquire first, and then you really break down what's being learned, like really digest it, really practice it, and all that good stuff. And then the third thing is what? Now let's go test. Let's go see if we can apply what you've learned. It's really that simple, guys. Let's not make this thing any more complicated than it needs to be. Everybody wants to make $250,000 a year. No problem. No problem whatsoever. It's there. $250,000, it is right there. It's there. It's right there. Everybody wants to get that. Listen, the $250,000 is just, let me tell you what $250,000, $300,000 is. It's just a report card. It's just a report card on your life. The amount of money that somebody's willing to pay you is just a report card of what you've been doing in your past. So, if you're in a job that's paying you $30,000 a year, $35,000 a year, that's just a report card of what you've been doing in your past. Own that. That's going to affect your children. Own that. That's going to affect your wife. Own that. That might break up your marriage. Own that. Why do I say own that? Listen to me, guys. Because it happened to me. But funny enough, I wasn't earning $30,000. I was earning like $100,000. And it still wasn't enough. She left me. But you know what? I own it. It's cool. I own it. I own it. It's all right. I own it. Now the question now is, how did I get from depression when she left me or whatnot? How did I get from when she left me to me being where I am today? I'm not saying I'm anything or whatever, but God gave me respect again. He gave me the ability to respect myself again. He gave me my self-confidence. I've always been self-confident. I'd find a way to be self-confident. That's not the issue. But he really gave me my self-confidence again, where, you know what, dude, you're a man. It's cool. It happened. Let's move forward. Did you see me crying, talking about reparations? Fuck no. What that got to do with me? Repar who? Child? Man, look. If you think we're going to get reparations but in the next 10, 20 years, okay. Look, if I get reparations, I'm cool. I'll take it. No problem. But if you think I'm going to depend on that to secure my family, oh, no. You got another thing coming. Because to me, in a way, reparations is needed, yes. But waiting for reparation, that's weak. In my opinion, waiting for reparations, that's weak. You should get to the point where whether reparation comes or not, dude, I'm good. That's the right attitude. Because right now, what I'll tell you guys right now is, hey, look, your wife don't give a damn about no reparations. She cares about that milk in the fridge. She cares about, hey, the light's about to get turned off. All she cares about is, hey, look, my kid's in public school in a bad neighborhood in Baltimore. This ain't cool, bruh. We can wait for reparations all we want to, but look here, something got to change. You see what I'm saying? We 50, 100 pounds overweight. We got all kinds of medical issues, blah, 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 blah. Something's got to change, or else we're not going to be here for our kids in the next 10, 15 years. And you see, here's the thing. If you do not accept responsibility, guess what happens? Guess who ultimately pays the price? Your kids. If you don't accept your responsibility medically, guess who? Look, kids love their parents. They're going to do everything to make sure their parents are alive as long as they can. But guess what? You're putting a burden on them. And that's not fair. That's selfish. That's not fair. I think that's selfish. You know, if you don't get yourself together, if you don't get your act together as far as financially, look, guess who pays the price? The kids. The kids. So when your mother has dementia, look, it takes money to take care of all these things. Not God, money. Can God help? Yeah, sure. So, but that's not what we're talking about. The point of this message is, listen, everybody has to step up and take responsibility for their lives. Whatever knowledge, it's a simple process. Acquire information, comprehend the information, and get to work. Apply the information. It's as simple as that. And watch things change. You see what I'm saying? And then for those of you who are Christian, once you're ready to take responsibility, and once your mind is set on change, right? And now you're in alignment with God, you're doing things the way God has ordained. Watch him take over. Oh, he's serious now. Okay, let's get to work. And the cool thing about God is he makes things easy, right? So you're walking the path, you're walking down the right path, blah, blah, blah. You don't see the things that God is doing. He's opening up little doors here and there. So you go for that interview. He makes that interview a little easier. You're going for an interview, all of a sudden, that one idiot that always likes to, ask the toughest questions in interviews, all of a sudden, he calls out sick. It's making things easier. You need to get a house for your family. You've been doing things the right way. Now you have a good job, blah, 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 right? He finds you that one house that has a little bit of equity in it. Makes things a little easier. Say you want to be a business owner. All of a sudden, he gives you the wisdom to be able to, okay, don't do it this way, do it that way. He makes things a little easier for you. You see what I'm saying? So, but it all starts with you accepting responsibility for your life. Because, listen, I don't mean to hurt any man's feelings whatsoever. I don't mean to hurt any woman's feelings whatsoever. But one thing I will tell you is this. Listen, I was married before. We were married for 4 years. Ethiopian. I'm a sucker for beautiful women. Whatever. Had 2 beautiful children together. She decided to leave. Even though I thought I was doing everything as I possibly could. I was making 6 figures. Wasn't enough. Because at the time, she was going to medical school, and she was living in a different state, and my job was in a different state, so I was paying stuff here, paying stuff there. She would say we didn't get along, but I have a funny feeling that if I was making $500,000 a year, I'm talking about, okay. My mom was not even, her mom, her family, they were just against me, but it's okay. But you know what though? I own it. It was my fault. Why weren't you making why weren't you making $500,000 a year? I own it. Maybe if you was making $500,000 a year, maybe you would have kept your kids. See, I own it. I own it. It's cool. Maybe I wasn't doing enough as a man. I own it. Because moving forward, that allows me, it frees me up mentally moving forward that, you know what, if I do get a family in the future, I know what to do now. Mm, I know what to do now. So, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Like whatever situation you're going through, listen, you're just an ACA away. Acquiring information, comprehending information, and applying the information. You're just an ACA away. That's all. Just look at it like that. I'm just an ACA away. ACA. Maybe I should make a hat. ACA. Sounds pretty cool. I might make a hat. So one thing I've actually decided to do, going back to the whole school thing or whatever. You guys know, as you know, I own schools up and down the East Coast. Blah blah blah. You guys know the deal. Teach Oracle, 2 month training, 10-week training, whatever, and give you Oracle training. Yeah, yeah. You guys know what the deal is. Anyway, so one thing I've decided to do is, you know what? I would like to, and if anybody thinks I have a problem with racism, and from my definition and from Claude Anderson, racism is just a race. It's just a race to see who can get something first. I'm cool with racism. Rex says let's vote for Trump. Amen to that, brother. Anybody but Clinton, right? Crooked Hillary, right? I'm just joking. Anybody, you can vote for who you want to vote for. But if anybody thinks that I hate racism, I ain't got no problem with it. It's cool with me, as long as it's a fair competition. Now, listen. Now, listen. I'm being a little bit facetious. Prejudice, I have a problem with, but racism, not really. Not really. What I mean by that is, listen. This is what I mean by that. Listen. I look at this. True. Everybody in their own little way. Rex is kind of racist, right? Let's keep it real now. Come on now. Let's keep it real. All right. Black people, we make white jokes too. White people, they make black jokes too. Come on, guys. I just look at racism as protecting the group. I don't really have a problem with that. Really don't. All right. Like white people, they're gonna protect their group at all costs. Black people, that's kind of what we should be doing at all costs, right? But to me, I look at it as a friendly competition. Now I'm not talking about now. Listen, what I'm saying is this, right? I'm just saying, listen, let's just make the race to be about things that are tangible. That's all I'm saying. Things that are actually tangible. Tangible. That's all I care about. All the other nuances, nah, I'm not really with that. I'm not really with that, but I can't really control that. I can't control that. Like how a white person looks to me when I walk into a club, listen, I can't control that. That's their own biases. That's blah blah blah. It is what it is. How black people look at white people when they come. Listen, we can't control. Hey, it is what it is. But what we can control is this. This is what we can control. If you have the money, now things start changing now. You can fly first class. If you have the money, you could put your children in. I'm all for the outer space and Earthlings calling ETU on Earth racist. That's good one, Rex. But you could put your children in private school, couldn't you? If you had the money. You could drive that Mercedes Benz if you had the money. You could give your grandchildren something, an inheritance, if you had the money. That's the kind of racism that I like. I like that. Because it's just a race to tangibility. That's all. A race to get tangible things. That's all. That's how I look at it. Just friendly competition is the way I look at it. So what I've decided to do is a subject that I haven't learned in years. I haven't really done it. It's coding. It seems like a lot of white people they just know how to code. They just know how to code some shit, right? Every Android website, you name it. A lot of white people just know how to code. I don't know if it's most websites that you see that you visit, YouTube's, like Facebook's, white people. It's just all code. So what I've decided to do is actually challenge myself because there's a new class I want to teach. I want to start teaching on PL SQL. So I want to relearn this stuff so I'm basically starting again from scratch. I'm just going to start from scratch, right? Because I can't remember almost all of it, right? So I actually want to challenge everybody and say, you know what? Because I actually started this a couple of weeks ago, PLC School. So I want to know. I want to see myself. I want to say, you know what? How long would it take me to learn a topic as hard as coding, being an Oracle developer? I want to actually know how long will it actually take me to be proficient at coding, to the point where actually I could get a job as a coder if I wanted to. I've given myself I've given myself 60 60 days. If I'm being, you know, you know, if I'm feeling a little less frisky. But if I'm being super aggressive, I'm giving myself 30 days. Right? So if I'm being really slow and being really retarded, I'm giving myself 90 days. White people can code. We gonna learn how to do this shit. See, it's the mentality. I just want to learn something new because listen, it all goes back to what everything I've been telling you guys. The only thing that's separating you from zero to what $300,000 is what you know. It's as simple as that. If you know some stuff, you're gonna get some stuff. If you don't know some stuff, you're not gonna get some stuff. If you know stuff that's valued in the marketplace, you will get paid. If you don't do stuff that's valued in the marketplace, you're not going to get paid. It's as simple as that, y'all. So for all you guys who have degrees in political science, sociology, home economics, psychology, you've been lied to. It ain't going to work. Acting. What do you call it? Arts and sciences. Those are arts. Performing arts. Not going to work. Communication. Not going to work. Sorry to say it. It ain't going to work. And the numbers suggest that. So STEM is where it's at, guys. STEM is where it's at. If you noticed, Kamala Harris, she's really pushing for the STEM. Barack Obama was pushing to the STEM. I'm tired of us as a people not getting into STEM. Black people are not into STEM. I don't know why. If that's where the money's at, then go do STEM stuff. Go do it. Accept responsibility there. Look, this stuff that I learned before, it ain't working. If I want my life to continue to be the way it's been for the past 10, 15 years, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm going to keep doing. But guess what? Your children are getting older. Bills are coming. So guess what? Because you can't afford it, guess what? Your children have to take loans from colleges. And guess what? They're in debt. See the cycle? See the cycle? No. Self-fulfilling prophecy. So I just want to leave you guys. I didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings whatsoever, but I send out these videos, and we're more than a company that just teaches IT stuff. And but yeah, if I'm preaching this stuff out to you guys, I need to hold myself. I also hold myself accountable. The more you learn, the more you have the capacity to earn. You've got to get that part. If you got nothing else from this video, get this. The more you learn, the more you have a capacity to earn. You wouldn't chop wood with a blunt axe, would you? You wouldn't do that. That's silly. You wear yourself thin. Why don't you first sharpen the axe and then cut the wood in a tenth of the time? Makes sense, right? That's the same way you should approach life, right? Sharpen your axe, sharpen your tools. I don't care what degree you're in, finance, accounting, blah, 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 rubbish. Economics, blah, 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 all that rubbish. Psychology, sociology, rubbish. You messed up. It's fine. Own it. It ain't taking you nowhere. So what are you going to do about it now? I don't even care if it's STEM or not, right? Everybody needs to be operating in their own gift, in their own gifting. And if your gifting requires money, then guess what? You might want to learn some skills that's actually going to get you the money. And then you can parlay that and use that to build what you're really trying to do. You come into my school is not necessarily because you want to do this as a career for long term. It could just be, you know what? Listen, over the next 5 years, I need to make $500,000 because hey, my kids are gonna go to school. I need to fund a business. I need to do whatever it is. It could just be a money grab. So how can you tell me I'm learning PL SQL from scratch? And I'm confessing that right now. I'm learning something completely new, right? From scratch. So I can teach you guys this, right? It's not that complicated, I don't think. And I'm putting myself under that scrutiny, the same scrutiny that I'm expecting you guys to have for yourself. I'm having that for myself. Why? Because everything that I do moving forward, this is the start of your new life, starting today. Whatever you decide to do starting from today is going to affect what happens to you next week. Did you know that? Did you know that? Okay. So, all right, it's been wow, 45 minutes, 46 minutes right now. So yeah, I just wanted to really encourage you guys and to know that listen, it's not over until it's over. You know, you're one step away from changing your life. All you just have to do is just make better decisions. And yeah, I will be giving you guys updates as far as how I'm learning, how I'm doing. And by the way, I am self-learning coding. I ain't going to no school, no nothing. I'm self-learning. So what's your excuse when you come to our school where you're actually learning from somebody who actually knows how to do the stuff? So I'm self-learning, so I'm making it even harder on myself. You know what I mean? But definitely, what I plan on doing is once I'm done with that, I'll just go compete against some really good developers and just see and test my skills against them, and see whether or not I can apply. Remember that thing, apply application, whether or not I can apply all the wisdom that I've gathered. So in my opinion, it's a really simple process. It's the ACA, is the ACA thing. Apply, acquire the knowledge, comprehend the knowledge, and then apply it. It's as simple as that. And then what do you get as a result of all that? Your report card. Then you get a report card. Whatever situation you're in financially right now, however much you guys are getting paid right now is just a report card. That's all it is. It's a report card of what the things you've been doing in the past. That's all. It's just showing you what you're worth. I tell the people that come to our school, each time you do each one of our projects, give yourselves a $12,000 bonus. Once you do project 1, you're worth 12,000. Once you do project 2, 24. Once you get to project 5, give yourself a $15,000 bonus. So technically, by the time you finish with our school, you should be able to command between 120 to about $120,000. Between 120 to 100 and what, $25,000 per year. And we have students who have done that. No question about it. It's all about knowledge and wisdom. Just get that wisdom, y'all. It's as simple as that. All right. So I hope that was empowering to you guys. I hope you guys actually understand what and all the stuff about racism, guys. Please, I say this in tongue in cheek. I'm having fun with it, but on some issues, I'm really not having fun. I'm really being serious, right? Whatever decisions you're going to make right now is going to affect your children and your children's children. It all cascades, guys. It's not about you. You getting better as an individual is not about you. It's about your wife. It's about securing your wife. It's about securing your children's future. It's about securing your future, your happiness, your self-esteem, your children's self-esteem. Children want to live in a house, not in an apartment, right? Kids, they don't know. There's nuances to that, but I don't care for a house, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? But the point I'm trying to make is everybody, let's get better. Let's get better. We have classes that are starting next month, August. Classes actually start August the 5th. Our Atlanta class is going to be Monday and Tuesdays from 6 to 10 p.m. for the next 10 weeks. Our Maryland class is going to be, Maryland and Virginia is going to be August the 7th from 6 to, it's going to be Wednesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 10 p.m. So let's get this knowledge. And if you decide you don't want to come to our class, that's fine. Go somewhere else. It's cool. I don't care. Just get the knowledge already. I don't care. Get the knowledge, because all that separates you between $0 and $250,000 is what? Get the knowledge. Okay? Everybody, love your wives. Be good. Talk to you soon.